YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, I know, I was not planning to make Comic-Con videos this weekend, but after all these announcements, I did not think that we would get as much content to talk about, but we are getting a lot. So today, or at least yesterday, they announced basically the stuff for the future of the MCU, both for the live action stuff, and basically announcing that Black Panther Wakanda Forever is going to be the last film of Phase 4, and then they announced all the projects of Phase 5 and Phase 6, and I'm basically just going to do a ranking of all 18 of these. And I will be including I Am Groot excitement, and I will be including I Am Groot, She-Hulk, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever in this, since they are upcoming projects and they have not come out yet. And also, I will not be including all the other stuff that wasn't involved in this, so stuff like Armor Wars, Spider-Man 4, Shang-Chi 2, Deadpool 3, and even the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which is intended to come out this year, but I'm not going to include any of that because it's not part of this panel, or it's not part of the schedule of any of these phases. So the movies that were only announced in the phases will only be included, or you could look at that down below in the list of what movies and shows will be included. With that said, let's get started ranking all 18 of these projects by excitement. Now for me, I liked the trailer for this show that we got yesterday, actually 2 days ago, and I thought it was cute, it was fun, it was likable, but is this a show that I'm going to be like, that's awesome, I can't wait to see that? Not really. It's just a series of 5 shorts of Baby Groot doing cute Baby Groot things. That's all it is, but we don't really know much about this show, so there's nothing to, not that we don't know anything about it, but we just don't, there's nothing really exciting about it. Like, it's not really going to be canon. It's just going to be like, aw, that's so cute. But that's all it is. So, for me, it comes in last place. Now, for me, if you guys have watched my MCU Disney Plus TV show rankings in the past couple of months, or whenever a TV show comes out, I always put Loki at the bottom of my list because I was just very disappointed with that first season. And to be honest with you, while I am excited for season 2, I don't know exactly how I could still feel about it because we don't know much about anything. Like, we got some set photos of like Loki and Mobius in their TVA uniforms along with Sylvie, and they're on like a shot with like of a shooting shot of in front of McDonald's or something. I don't know what that is, but to be honest with you, from what happened at the end of that show, I just don't know where you can continue with this show. But I am interested. It is coming out next year, I believe. Yeah, I believe. So that's pretty much all I think about Loki season 2. I'm excited for it, but there's not much I can really say to actually say why I'm excited for it. So that's why it's at number 17. Now, in the WandaVision show, I personally love the character of Agatha Harkness, both as Agnes, but then when she turned into Agatha Harkness, her character did fumble a little bit, but I still like the performance of Catherine Hahn as this character. And for some reason, I think the reason why I'm not exactly as excited for this show as much as other people is because I wasn't the biggest fan of them really exploring the witchcraft and stuff in the MCU. Like, when we got WandaVision and stuff, all the witchcraft stuff, I was not expecting anything like that in the MCU. Like, all that weird Halloween stuff, like all that stuff I never expected to see. Witchcraft isn't something I'm really interested in, or witches. With Scarlet Witch, it makes a little bit more sense because it's an established character, but with her, I just don't really know how you can really explore more of her character, because I feel like that backstory in the WandaVision episode in episode 8 was basically enough, honestly. But we'll see what they do. I hope it's actually good, and I hope we get another fantastic performance from Catherine Hahn as this character. And also, we don't actually know anything else. We just know. I think one interesting thing that they did is that they actually changed the title, Agatha, Coven of Chaos. But that's it. We don't really know. All we know is it's about her, and that they changed the title. That's all we know for now. Now for me, ever since this movie was announced, I was just kind of skeptical, because it's like they didn't really give us much. But then, when they announced that we're going to be getting Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel, and then Monica Rambeau all teaming up together in the same movie together to stop whatever threats come in, I was initially excited for that, because I think, Miss Marvel comes off the idea of her being a big fan of Captain Marvel, and so the fact that she actually gets to meet Captain Marvel is actually awesome. But then you also get that conflict between Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel, as there was something in WandaVision that someone noticed, that when Darcy mentioned Captain Marvel to Monica, that she was like, "We're not talking about her, we are talking about Wanda." Like, is she mad about her because she couldn't save her mom during the blip? Because she couldn't see her own mom die from cancer? Like, that's kind of a weird situation there. But overall, I am excited for this movie. However, that's all we really gotten from this movie, is that we're going to be seeing Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau team up. We don't really know anything else. I guess one thing we know is that Jimmy Woo will be in the film, but that's it. We don't know anything else. So that's why it's a little bit low on the list. But I am still very excited. Now, to be clear, I have never watched the original Blade trilogy from the late 90s, early 2000s. I was not around at the time. Really, the movies I watched from the early comic book genre were X-Men and Spider-Man. And the thing is that Blade was like the first run of those modern era of comic book films, because back in the day there were three films that started the modern era of comic book films. It was the first Blade, then X-Men, and then the original X-Men, and then Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I never watched Blade. I have seen X-Men and Spider-Man, but Blade is a film I need to watch before going into this film, because this is a character that has been established for many years. He's also been mentioned in like Thor Ragnarok and in Loki. Well, not intentionally. He's been mentioned as vampires, as he is a vampire that stops other vampires. And even in Eternals, he was actually talking to the guy that is going to be Black Knight. So that's going to be cool. I think the reason why I'm not exactly as excited for it is because I don't know the character as well. It is cool that we're getting Mahershala Ali. I think that's the guy that played the Prowler in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So they're getting an actor that I actually know of their work. So that's kind of cool. But other than that, I can't say I'm really excited for it. All I've heard from the original Blade movies is that they actually have really cool action. So if we get to see like really cool, gory vampire action, kind of like what they're doing with the Marvel Zombie show, we'll actually get to be seeing people kill zombies. How do we actually get that with this movie? And we actually get to see Blade kill some vampires. So we'll see if that happens. But I am still excited for it, though I don't know too much about the character. Now, much like Blade, Fantastic Four is one of those films that people want in this franchise for a very long time, and want the introduction to the Fantastic Four for a long time. Like when literally 2 months ago, it was 2 months ago, when Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness came out. Everybody was going crazy that John Krasinski was playing Mr. Fantastic, like a variant of Mr. Fantastic. And I'm glad that we're getting this film, and I even watched some of the Fantastic Four films from like 2007, 2005, and even the one from 2015, which I actually thought was pretty good. And to be clear, I'm excited for this film. I'm excited to see these characters. I don't know if they're going to go with the story where they get their powers from space, or I actually hope that they go with the, or if they're going with the storyline where they get their powers from the quantum realm. That's actually a theory that a lot of people have been having. I hope they actually go with the quantum realm powers theory. But to be honest with you, I think much like Blade, because I don't know too much about the Fantastic Four characters, I don't really know how you can really make the best Fantastic Four film coming from the MCU. But hey, we'll see what happens. I actually hope they actually can nail it. I'm not saying that it's going to be the best Marvel movie of all time, and it is the first film of Phase 6, so that's going to be interesting. And since if it's going to be since it's going to be before 2 Avengers films, then they have to get their powers from the quantum realm. Then that's got to mean something for the last 2 Avengers films. But I am still excited for it, and I cannot wait to see it. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has always been a film that I've always been questioning, because they've done a lot of stuff that I have, after the whole stuff with James Gunn getting fired, and then he got rehired again, he wanted to go do Suicide Squad. I feel like that they've announced a lot of stuff, like they've been getting a great cast in here with like Margot Robbie and all these other great casts, probably adding Adam Warlock in here. Lots of great stuff. I think the stuff that they mentioned at Comic-Con and adding the girl that's going to play Cosmo the dog, which usually in the comics, Cosmo the dog is actually a boy. Well, at least in the Guardians of the Galaxy show on Disney XD, he's played by a boy. In this movie, he's going to be voiced by a dog. He's going to be voiced by a girl. And then we get a Peacemaker actor who's going to be playing this other character who makes the perfect species, which I guess has something to do with Rocket Raccoon's origins. And I even saw a leak of baby Rocket Raccoon, which absolutely looks adorable. Looks really sad. And also the fact that this is going to be the last Guardians of the Galaxy film, and we're going to be getting a new team of Guardians seems kind of cool. I'm excited to see that. But just the overall things, I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see the trailer of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But hey, we'll probably get it at D23, or maybe even sometime later. Or maybe I even heard on the as I was watching the live stream of this, they were announcing it. I even saw that they're probably gonna release the trailer on Monday. I don't know, but I am excited for it. Can't wait to see it in May of next year. And yeah, so I'm still excited for it, but I am a little bit questionable because we don't know the specific concept of the movie yet. Now, for the longest time, I've always been kind of mid-tier excited for She-Hulk Attorney at Law, mainly because none of the trailers I feel like have done it for me as much. Granted, for the trailer that we got in Comic-Con, for the last final trailer before the show releases in about 3 weeks, I believe so. No, wait. In about 4.5 weeks or something like that. Yeah, about 3 or 4 weeks. Because it comes out the second day after I start high school. But this show, I think the trailer that we got for this show in Comic-Con, where we basically get to just see more of the comedic side, fourth wall breaking. We also get to see Wong come into this show. We get to see more of Emil Blonsky as why he's human and that he can actually transform, becoming Abomination to Emil Blonsky. That's kind of cool. They actually established that he tried to kill Bruce Banner. But you also get to see more of the Wrecking Crew. You get some little funny jokes in there that I thought was pretty funny, especially with the opening shot. The CGI for She-Hulk still looks kind of weird. And then I think the big thing at the end, when you get that big guy flipping at the end, and he has the sticks. At first, and you're gonna be hating me for this. You're gonna be like, "Wow, I can't believe this." I thought that guy was Frogman, the frog guy that we saw in the earlier trailers. But people are thinking it's Daredevil. I honestly think that because I can see the yellow stuff on his suit. So, I'm all for it. So, I cannot wait. actually excited to see this. I'm actually kind of excited to see this show now, since we actually got more stuff with it. Where it's one of the shows I'm least excited for of most of these. But if you think about it, from all these other projects that we've gotten in the past, like the Miss Marvel, Fantastic Four, Blade, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this is actually the project that we've gotten more stuff of, and I'm actually kind of excited for it more, so I can't wait to see this actually. Now, ever since this show was announced, I was initially very excited. My only problem with it is, how exactly were they gonna do a Secret War series, a Secret Invasion series, when the Skrulls, when it was all established that in Captain Marvel the Skrulls were good guys? Like, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna do the show where the Skrulls infiltrate Earth? How are you gonna do that? But then I was thinking maybe they could actually establish that there are some Skrulls that are good and then some Skrulls that are bad. And I'm guessing that's what this show will be about. And basically having the characters from Captain Marvel team up with the Skrulls. So you like see old versions of Nick Fury. You see like you even get all these casting stuff with like an actor from Game of Thrones coming in here. You of course get the cast with Talos and everything. So all this stuff looks really cool. And even the stuff that we've seen from like the post-credit scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, where you see Nick Fury, where you learn that Nick Fury was in space the whole time and Talos was impersonating him along with his wife, impersonating Maria Hill. And then you just see this shot of like Skrulls and spaceships and all that. And then even at the post-credit scene of the first episode, of the last episode of WandaVision, you see like Monica Rambeau team up with a Skrull, and then she's like, "They're waiting for you." I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that all the stuff for Spider-Man Far From Home, as well as WandaVision, is all leading up to Secret Invasion. My only problem here is that we haven't really got anything. We obviously know when it's coming out now, but we don't know, like, we haven't seen any trailers, we don't know the plot, we don't even know if the confirmation of there being evil Skrulls out there is a thing, so we'll see what happens. But I am still very excited for it. Now, of course, when this movie was announced, I was always excited for it because I love the first two Ant-Man films. Obviously, when this movie is ever talked about, they always talk about Kang the Conqueror being the main villain of the film. And obviously, I'm excited to see him go against Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I think the other thing is really diving into the relationship of Ant-Man and his daughter, Cassie Lang. And because Cassie Lang is a lot grown up, I even did a video on TikTok, which, if you want to go watch that video, it's one of my pinned videos on there, if you want to go check it out. But I had a theory that since Cassie Lang is grown up now, because of the time jump that happened in Endgame, I'm guessing she could be Cassie Lang. She could be Stature. Like, she could be a new Ant-Man type hero that she was in the comics, like she was in the Young Avengers. So, I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be leading to. And it could lead to a very cool daughter dynamic where Scott Lang does not want her daughter to be a superhero and not go on this journey. And I'm guessing that Ant-Man, Wasp, and Stature will be our main heroes of the film. Who knows about Janet Van Dyne, Hank Pym, and Luis and all the other characters. Hopefully they come back. I don't think they're. I don't know. They haven't been announced, but and also one thing that they actually announced today is that MODOK will be in this movie, which it's kind of weird that they would add him in this film because he's one of the most weirdest looking characters of all time in Marvel history, as he's basically this big giant baby head. So that's a little bit weird. But overall, I am very excited, but honestly, for the Comic-Con news that we've got from this movie, there's not a lot that we know of. It's cool that it's actually going to be the first thing to start off Phase 5. Now, ever since we got introduced to this character in Hawkeye, I always saw great stuff for this show, because after what Hawkeye did with its humor, with its action, with its story, and telling a great story, it's basically the better version of Falcon Winter Soldier, if you think about it, except street level version. I feel like that this show could be exactly what Hawkeye was, just a little bit more darker and a little bit more mature. As you could basically tell, as while you are doing this story of her chasing after all these bad guys, but you're also telling the origin story of what she made. Obviously, we learned about that in Hawkeye, where she became this bad person because of the death of when Clint was Ronin and he killed her father. But maybe there's something more to that, and like there's a story of why her father trained her to be all this stuff, and we can actually learn more interesting things about her. And personally, and then we'll also be getting Charlie Cox's Daredevil in this series, so that's gonna be awesome. And to be clear, in the Hawkeye show, we have no idea where Yelena's gonna be after this. So my theory is that maybe this series will actually continue with Yelena coming into this show to help Echo and Daredevil. So maybe it will be, and we know Kingpin's not dead, come on. They wouldn't fade away the camera to show him not dead. Like, come on, you know he's alive. So this show will obviously be about Echo trying to kill him and get on him once and for all. So I'm pretty sure that this show will be about Echo, Daredevil, and Yelena going against them, since they all want revenge. Daredevil, of course, hates Kingpin because he's a bad guy. Echo wants revenge because he's a liar and he sent him to kill his father. In a way, he killed him. And then Yelena wants revenge because she betrayed him, saying that basically lying. So there's a lot of liars in here. So I don't know if Yelena will be in this show. I hope that I wonder where she's gonna be next. We know we're gonna see him in the Marvel Zombie show in with Kate Bishop and everything. But still, I want to see more of Yelena, and maybe we can get more of her in this show. But who knows? It's probably gonna break the tone a little bit, but since she is a very comedic character, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Now, ever since this show was announced, I was always like, okay, I'm excited. That's cool. Introducing a new character, that's cool. Character like Iron Man, that's cool. But those certain details that we get announced every single day for this show just gets me very excited. Like this first thought of having, because you know, in the comic or even in the Marvel Rising Secret Warriors show, she has this AI in her suit called Not Tony, which basically the voice of Not Tony is literally the voice of Tony Stark. So it would be a dream come true if they actually brought the voice of Tony Stark, like Robert Downey Jr.'s voice, and actually recorded him doing the AI voice of Not Tony. Or at least if obviously they probably won't do that because Robert Downey Jr.'s contract is done. So they'll probably bring in the actor that played Tony Stark in What If. Who knows? But then even then, the concept art for the early footage for Ironheart's suits in like Black Panther Wakanda Forever, or even in this show, I think looks pretty cool. And the fact that this is like this character is supposed to have like the best suit of armor since the original Iron Man suit, like the best suit of armor is nanotech. So I'm like, what's better than nanotech? That's what I'm thinking, because she's not just gonna have a nanotech Ironheart suit. She's gonna have to have some sort of tech that's better than that. So what suit will she be using? I'm probably going to be guessing it's vibranium, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I am very excited for this show. Though we haven't really got anything new from Comic-Con, I am still very excited for this show though. Now, like most of you, I have been extremely skeptical for the sequel to Black Panther. As you know, when Chadwick Boseman passed away back in 2020, everyone was devastated, and but the big question was, how are they going to make a sequel to Black Panther without Chadwick Boseman himself, the Black Panther himself, and still do the epic story of the war between Atlantis and Wakanda, set up Ironheart and do all this. And to be honest with you, after we got that trailer today, I have to say that that trailer made my opinions for the movie just a little bit. We don't really know much of the plot. I remember seeing a leaked plot to the movie where it starts as Lake Bell and a team of soldiers go and investigate Namor and like underwater Atlantean tech. Namor kills Lake Bell's team, and then they drown Wakanda or something, and then M'Baku becomes the new king, and then Shuri becomes the new Black Panther because she can't be king. And then they have a whole funeral for T'Challa. Like, I've heard all stuff about that. And most of it looks exactly like the way it does in the trailer. So I'm guessing that's where it's going to be leading here. I think the stuff with I think the whole trailer just looks beautiful, both in the funeral shots, the shots of like the sun, the water, the ocean, even the music choices. Like, while it is, sentimental, it also just goes back into that hip hop stuff. I love that. Seeing Namor for the first time, the Atlanteans for the first time, seeing all these characters again was pretty nice. We obviously don't know the full story of this film yet, which I am interested. We'll probably get another trailer soon or later, but we'll probably get more footage. But I am very excited for the sequel to Black Panther. So ever since we got Valentina Allegra Devontaine appearing in Falcon Winter Soldier, team up with John Walker as U.S. agent, and then her appearing in the end credit scene of Black Widow, teaming up with her Yelena Belova, we always knew where this project was coming with Thunderbolts. Obviously, we don't know who's going to be part of this team. Obviously, I'm guessing that if they're going to be teaming up with them, it's obviously U.S. Agent and Yelena are obviously going to be part of the Thunderbolts in some way or shape or form. And maybe even if they add Abomination or even Ghost or maybe even Red Hulk or some other characters in here, who knows? Even Zemo. I would actually be happy if they added Zemo because he had some heroism in Falcon Winter Soldier, and I want to see more of that. And I think he could have a great arc for him in the movie. If they find some arc, and with all the other characters too. So I think it will be very, very cool, and it could basically be Marvel's PG-13 version of Suicide Squad. So I'm actually very excited for this movie. I'm very excited for this movie. Now, I know a lot of people were butthurt that Daredevil, the series, Season 3 got canceled. Well, the show got canceled, and then all the other Marvel Netflix shows got put straight to Disney Plus back in March. And because of the appearance of Charlie Cox's Daredevil, Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock got an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. That movie basically led to the official thing of Daredevil Born Again, the new Disney Plus TV show of Daredevil coming to Disney Plus. And I'm honestly just very excited. First off, it's gonna be 18 episodes long. Like, you think of all these all these Disney Plus shows, they have like either 6 or 9 episodes. This show is literally gonna have 18 episodes. And if it has 18 episodes, that means it's gonna be something good. Granted, some people are kind of mixed on the whole 18 episodes aspect, but I think it's gonna be a great show. 18 weeks of Daredevil, that's gonna be awesome. And the fact that I actually will be able to experience Daredevil for myself, that's going to be awesome. And I think because we're getting X-Men 97 and Daredevil and all these other shows, I'm probably going to need to watch the original Daredevil and all these Marvel Netflix shows to understand, because I have not seen them. I'm sorry, but I need to watch them. I'm sorry. But I am very excited for this show, and I cannot wait to see it. Now, this is actually a title that was actually leaked a couple days ago, as was one of those titles that was actually leaked, as people found some leaked MCU movie titles, and this was the leaked title for Captain America 4, Captain America New World Order, and it's kind of reminiscent to the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, which is called New World Order, which I thought was a nice ring to it. And ever since this film was announced, I was initially excited for it. Like, they literally announced it the day of the finale of Falcon Winter Soldier ended. So when they announced it, I was like, there's a lot of stuff you could really do with it. Continuing this character of Sam Wilson, continuing the stuff with Sharon Carter, maybe having some more emotional arcs with Bucky, even adding Joaquin Torres's Falcon in the mix. Just all this stuff just sounds so exciting, so awesome. More awesome Captain America action, continuing these characters. All of it sounds great. And I was actually a fan of Falcon Winter Soldier, so I think that this film should be 10 times better than what they did in Falcon Winter Soldier. Because while I did like it, there were issues in it. I'm still wondering who the villain could be. Maybe they could actually bring back Red Skull, since there's like 2 versions of them now, since both of them got well, actually one, I guess, because Captain Steve Rogers returned the Soul Stone back to its original timeline. The Soul Stone's gone now, so Red Skull doesn't have anything to guard or protect or, you know, all that. So I'm actually really excited for Captain America New World Order. Now, these last 2 titles that I'm about to talk about, they were actually also leaked titles of, much like Captain America New World Order and the Thunderbolts title, this was also another leaked title of the Kang Dynasty. And to be clear, I didn't really think we were going to be getting any other Avengers films, because I thought Endgame was like, that's it. Like, that's the end of Avengers. Like, this team is done. Let's start new characters. Let's start new phases. Let's start new stuff. And if I'm being honest, I feel like that if you're gonna do like a big multiverse team up film where all the characters team up together, it makes sense to do an Avengers story, but I never really thought you would actually be able to do an Avengers film, because who exactly are the Avengers in this movie? So I think the way that the movie's gonna be is that it's probably gonna be like Infinity War, where it's gonna be dealing with all these other characters. But the main story is that Doctor Strange and Clea it will start off with Doctor Strange and Clea stopping the multiverse incursions. And then the film will end when the whole multiverse turns into one big planet world. Like, everything of the whole multiverse collides together and creates Battle World. And then that leads into the next title. Now, this was another title that I was extremely excited for. Now, both of these movies I'm very excited for. But the fact, like, I want to talk more about this because this is a title that I think is worth it. I think that this movie should be more epic. As, unlike Endgame, where you had that moment at the end where you had all your favorite superheroes, all your favorite characters of the MCU team up together to stop Thanos coming out of the Doctor Strange portals. That was awesome. When you think of this movie, when you think of the whole multiverse colliding together into this one big planet, and you see every single multiversal version of a character that you know and love, that's just a dream come true for all Marvel fans. Like imagine you can see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield again. You could probably see the Fantastic Four, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, some of the X-Men, all the other characters. And then you probably get a big battle with Kang. Like the whole universe, the whole multiverse of Marvel characters against Kang the Conqueror's army. The whole army of Kangs. Or at least the whole army of Kangs that he has. That's going to be awesome. And I think what makes it even more emotional is that unlike Infinity War and Endgame, which Infinity War and Endgame are like my 2 favorite movies of all time, and I mean that like without distinct. If you ask me what my favorite movie is, Infinity War and Endgame are my favorite movies of all time. And I'm starting to think to myself, will this be better? Because it's multiverse. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home was the definitive best multiverse project of the MCU. Definitely the best multiverse project. But it's not better than Endgame and No Way Home. I mean, it's not better than Endgame and Infinity War, because those movies were on a huge level, while No Way Home was a little bit smaller, but it was still massive in size in the way that they set up the story. So it's like, I'm wondering, like, this film will probably have the best emotions, the best character moments, probably some of the best fan service of all the MCU films. And I might be just talking as a guy that just wants to see all these characters talk to each other, unite together, possibly see Tom Holland, Spider-Man interact with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man again. Probably see Eric Bana's Hulk. I'm just thinking as a nerd right now. Even seeing Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Probably seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver again. Who knows? Even seeing the proper version of the live-action version of Captain Carter and Supreme Doctor Strange. So many possibilities of what they could do with this film, or at least these films, because you don't know what it's going to be about, what they are going to do. But overall, I'm so excited. And the fact that you're getting these two films in the same year, like you're getting one in May of 2025, and then you're getting one in November of 2025. Like, they're 6 months apart, where Infinity War and Endgame were like a year apart. And they came out like, basically like one came out April 27th, and then the next one came out April 26th. So they were basically a year apart. So I'm like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do this? How are they going to take 6 movies and put them out in over 6 months in 1 year? That's going to be very tricky. But it's Marvel. They've mastered before. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do. And I'm pretty much excited for all these projects that they announced. And I'm going to see all of them. So I'm very excited to see what Marvel has in store for us for the next 3 years. So, yeah, that's pretty much my ranking of all the announcements that we got at Comic-Con. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a very long video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your list down below of your ranking of all these projects. All my social media stuff is in the About section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.